respectively. This is a tough matchup for specifically Esper Delver. I cannot see this going well. Now, Zech Manos is on. I mean, it's hard to say. There's no like traditional Esper Delver list. It's such a roller coaster for that deck. Some weeks it's on Stifle, some weeks it's on Lingering Souls, some weeks it's on Gurmag, some weeks it's on Monastery Mentor. It's just really there's no established formula for it. That's what's good about it. Also, it's a pitfall and an advantage. People don't really know what you're on. I mean, sometimes it's on Vindicate. Can you guys believe that? A 3-mana sorcery, like I don't know. Anyhow, that is kind of the life that that Zech has chosen for himself. Aiden, on the other hand, this is burn, baby. Let's do this. Now, that being said, all right, Zech rolls a 4. Aiden rolls it out. It's a 10. So burn on the play here. Going to be fairly advantageous for Aiden. It's always advantageous for whoever goes first, but there's only like one or two instances where that doesn't really work out for them. Now, let's look at what we're working with here. We have what the. We have Aiden mulliganing here, and he's like on a fairly traditional list. There's nothing, that's not mince words here. It's 18 mountains, not even a fetch line in sight. Monastery Swiftbeer, these are all 4 of. Monastery Swiftbeer, Eidolon of the Great Revel, Goblin Guide, Chain Lightning, Lava Spike, Lightning Bolt, Price of Progress, and then now we're going to get to our 3 of, Searing Blood, and then 4 Rift Bolt, 4 Fire Blast, 1 Sulfuric Vortex, 2 Exquisite Firecraft. It doesn't get more straightforward than that. Zech, on the other hand, I think we could talk about this. We have a little bit of time here. 4 Deathrite Shaman, 4 Delver of Secrets, 3 Gurmag Angler, complemented by the normal things that you see in Delver. Brainstorm Ponders, Dazes, Force of Will, but his spice is he's got 3 Thought Scour, 2 Swords, and 3 Fatal Push. Thought Scour alongside Gurmag Angler has obviously been a very successful legacy, or I mean a modern combination, so we'll see how it goes here. As Zech falls to 19, has Fetch Land in hand. Looks like he's going to go ahead and toss it aside. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a dual land of some nature. Yep. It's going to fall this deck is especially susceptible to Price of Progress, but I guess that is the life. Oh, and I'm sorry, the other spice that Zech has in his main deck is 1 Liliana the Lasso. I honestly think that this is just such a powerful Planeswalker in the metagame right now. Every deck is playing fair, and a way to get ahead is obviously Planeswalkers, but a Planeswalker that lets you play ahead of the fair decks while still being pretty fair on its own is a rare thing. So we'll see how it actually turns out for him. And Zech could reap a lot of rewards off of it if he manages, just to live that long, basically. So we'll kind of see how that goes for him. Now, looks like he has mostly a blue hand. And Aiden's on this Eidolon. And I think if there's a Force of Will, or a Daze, sure, there's a Daze. It's got to get Dazed here. Yeah, there's no way that Eidolon can resolve. Aiden swings in for 1. And, this is exactly where Aiden wants to be. It looks like Zech found a Sword Splasher, so he can stymie a little bit of this aggression, but I wonder if he gives away too much by going fetch land here. He may be tipping his hand a little bit, but he doesn't have a choice, I feel. I mean, he could have Swords plus Daze, and that's not the worst place to be. It looks like he's actually going to go ahead and fetch now, it looks like. So he's going to go to 16. Make sure that we're updated here. And for both of these players, this is not a guaranteed win and in. This is like a bubble match, essentially. I mean, we're kind of playing for 9th and 10th. There is an off chance we end up as a 7 or 8 here. There are 2 10s playing it out right now. Unfortunately, we could not get them on camera. One of the players would not consent to being to playing on stream, which is more than acceptable. That's his or her choice. So we had a backup match ready anyways, and this is what we ended up. And I think it's an interesting matchup. It's not good for Zech, by any stretch of the imagination, but it's still probably fine. Aiden draws, finds another Eidolon of Eidolon, and Yeah, Zech. Zech's gonna need to figure it out a little bit here. I mean, that's unfortunate, but he's gonna take the one from the Swiss Spear, and then he's gonna take an additional 2 from Eidolon. Yep, falls to 13. Oops. Falls to 13. Aiden goes to 22. Pretty quick shuffle here after a ponder, it looks like. Zech is kind of hurting here. He needs to find an answer both to this Swiss Spear and then to kind of whatever Aiden's doing. I mean, Aiden's only got 3 cards in hand, but this Swiss Spear has done a majority of the damage. It's already a turn 3. Fetch land was the draw. Zech does not have enough. I don't think he's going to have enough here. Oh, wait, maybe. If he'd played a fetch land, he would have been able to cast this Gurmag Angler. Oh, okay, he had enough. My bad. Lava Spike. Puts Zech to 10. Aiden contemplating more burn. There's a Fire Blast in his hand. Right? Brainstorm? I couldn't tell the second card in Aiden's hand. It might have been an Eidolon, which is kind of interesting, but could be anything. Could even be a boat. So this goes against a little bit of the traditional wisdom. I don't mind this Wasteland here. It's going to insulate Zech a little bit from taking so much damage off of a Price of Progress. Like, I know that's not the life we want to live, but if worst comes to worst, you got to do it. And I think a second Gurmag Angler here would be nice, but maybe you have to sacrifice some points here. Some value points. I mean, you're trying to win the game at the end of the day, right? So, a Spell Pierce here for Zech is pretty devastating for Aiden. Aiden sacking 2 lands and like losing the game on the spot, basically. So, yeah, Zech has to just play safe, play with patience, and I think he's got this. He just has to recognize kind of like the little things. Oh, no, don't tap out. Oh, he's not tapping out. Okay, so he has the mana for Spell Pierce. Aiden currently cannot pay for it. And it looks like, oh, getting frisky. Big Daddy Gurmag. All right, here's a land. So Aiden can pay for Spell Pierce here. So Spear's going to get in. And if that Delver doesn't block, I'd be very surprised. Price of Progress. Price of Progress, I guess no blocks? Aiden drawing a land there was extremely fortunate. Was very fortunate. If Zech goes to 6, he dies. But on the flip side, oh wow, no, he can't even counter the. Oh no, he can counter the Fire Blast. Zech fetches, goes to 7, or it goes to 9. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with this Swiss Spear. I don't think it's been blocked yet. Yep. Does he not have a fetchable land? Oh, he's going to choose to not find one. Goes to 9, takes 4. Goes to 5. Fire Blast. Oh, so I guess I think the Swiss Spear was unblocked. All right. And that's that. Fire Blast, a hell of a magic card. Well, I mean, Price of Progress is a hell of a magic card, too. Both of those did a ton of work there. Aiden Rubinstein wins game 1 in. I honestly, that's what's going to happen in this matchup. That's not surprising. It's a bad matchup for Delver decks game 1. Game 2, let's talk about some other things. So, I guess we could talk about Aiden first. No, let's not do that. I think that's pretty easy. We know what comes in and what comes out. Zech, however, he's got 1 Pithing Needle, a Diabolic Edict, 1 Containment Priest, a Disenchant, 1 Vendilion Click, a Bitter Blossom, don't want that, 1 Zealous Persecution, 2 Flusterstorm, 1 Nihil Spellbomb, 2 Thoughtseize, 2 Surgical Extraction. Not very set up for this matchup. Gotta tell ya, not a lot he really wants here. There is some merit in Thoughtseize, definitely. Some merit in Surgical, if that's kind of like the route you're going with the Thoughtseizes and stuff like that. I mean, Surgical is also fine with Thought Scour, but there's just so much redundancy in Burn that it's probably not effective enough. It doesn't give you enough of an advantage. So I'd probably just like to see Thoughtseize and this Vendilion Click and board out some number of counterspells. Actually, no, Flusterstorm's not bad. I don't mind Flusterstorm. I don't like Force of Will. In general, Force of Will is really only for combo decks. Burn is like a pseudo combo deck, but for the most part, I think I just want Burn. I just want cheap interaction. So Flusterstorm is definitely going to get the nod here. Flusterstorm, Spell Pierce, Daze, all seem reasonable. Nothing wrong with that. And then I've got to say that's probably it. Yep. So Vendilion Click, Flusterstorm, Thoughtseize. That's what I would want. Now, Aiden. He's got a Tormod's Crypt, 2 Red Elemental Blasts, seems great, 1 Searing Blood, 3 Smash the Smithereens, a Dismember, 2 Volcanic Fallout, 2 Scab Clan Berserker, 1 Searing Blaze, 1 Sulfuric Vortex, and 1 Grafdigger's Cage. I like the Sulfuric Vortex. That's just a great mid-game bomb. It's just really difficult for most decks to interact with, and then it's just an incredible clock. Volcanic Fallout might be okay if Aiden's a little hip to kind of what Zech is doing. Like, he saw Delver, he saw Gurmag Angler. Does he suspect Lingering Souls? And Lingering Souls is really good. It clogs up the ground. It lets you kind of turn the corner as well. Let's see how that goes. Dismember's okay. It does kill Gurmag Angler. I think he wants it just for that. And then a Searing Blood. Again, if he sees that Delver, it's good against that. But he hasn't seen much else. He hasn't seen like Deathrite Shaman, for example. He probably assumes it's there. I don't think he's going to bring in a 4th Searing Blood effect or even Searing Blood itself. Tormod's Crypt might be reasonable, just to kind of keep the peace a little bit, make sure that Gurmag Angler doesn't come out too extraordinarily early. Red Elemental Blast, I don't mind here. I would like to bring those in. It's not incredible versus Zech's version because it doesn't have like True Name Nemesis or anything, or a Jace or anything crazy like that. But I think it's good enough as a Vindicate for Delver of Secrets or as a mental misstep for Brainstorm and Ponder. I think that's okay. But there's a couple things he has to contest with here. Namely, there is a Liliana of the Veil, Liliana Last Hope. And Gurmag Anglers are big dudes, and he only has 1 Dismember, so for the vast majority of the time, it's gonna be a big boy that's hard to beat. All right, Ponder. Aiden's hand looks a little land heavy. I saw 3 mountains in the front, not much else though. And Zech here, he could potentially, if I were him, I would set it up so that there's a mountain, or not mountain, wow, that there's a land, 2nd card on the top, that way he can, if there's a Goblin Guide on the other side, he can draw that land. That would be pretty good. Let's see what's happening here. Looks like Zech draws the spell. Is this a Goblin Guide or a Swift Spear? It's a Goblin Guide. Alrighty. I mean, this could get dazed too. That might be fine. Nope, Spell Pierce on top. We know that underneath the Spell Pierce is a land. So Zech misses out on a drawn card there, but he'll get it this upcoming turn potentially. If I'm Zech though, I definitely want to daze this Goblin Guide. I think that's basically where you want to be. That's like the matchup. Like, you just want to take creatures off the table and then counters and then really manage all the spells in Aiden's hand, both with Thoughtseize and other things. He's got a Thought Scour himself. Draws a card. Gurmag Angler? Nope. That's a Lingering Souls. Oh, man, if that was the card on the bottom, that would have been sweet. All right, that was the card in the graveyard right now. That would be pretty reasonable, but it wasn't. And here we are. Is that a Fatal Push? It is. So Zach has a Fatal Push. Or, I'm sorry. Zech has a Fatal Push. We're going to get a Swift Spear, and I think this one is going to get Fatal Pushed versus Goblin Guide. Oh, hello. I think this is going to get dazed. It feels like. Chain you. Chain. Goes to 17. And we're going to ship in with both. Goblin Guide trigger. Lingering Souls number 2 on the top. We're going to shuffle that away. Zech falls to 16. And he's going to need to find another point of spot removal. Blech, another spot removal spell. To kind of clean up this board. But the Swift Spear is definitely not long for this world. We did see a foil FNM promo, yada yada yada, Fatal Push here. So kind of unfortunate that a lot of other things didn't happen as well. Like I really would have liked the days on the Chain Lightning. Preserve your life total as much as possible. I think playing in fear of Fire Blast and Price of Progress is all well and good, but the real big issue, and you know, and this is all things withstanding, is like the real issue is that you aren't like those cards are only good if you're already at a low life total. Like yeah, they kind of accelerate the process as well, but if you can take care of like the incidental stuff, again that being Goblin Guide damage or like lava spikes and stuff like that don't target creatures, like you can do pretty good. And so we're gonna get a Goblin Guide trigger here. It's a Daze, and that's gonna flip the Delver. What does Zech do here? Zech's gonna take it. Goes to 14. We flip the Delver, and Zech's got shields up. He's got tons of counter spells. It's just gonna matter how does he manage it? How does he make things work? All right, Aiden passes the turn. Zech at 14. That's a healthy life total to be at this. That's a healthy life total at this point in the game. All right, Zech's got a kind of tokenish insectile aberration, so he doesn't have to like dig through his deck. So I think, yeah, Thought Scour here is advisable, I should say. But you could wait. It's an instant. Just, why not? Just wait. No big deal. I'm not worried about it. Are you worried about it? So 17. I'm sorry. Aiden falls to 17. Typical Delver stuff. We've got a Price of Progress. Oh, no, I got Searing Blood. Searing Blood, it's not bad. And Aiden has 1 card in hand, I feel. Oh, he has 2. Aiden has 2 cards in hand, so Zech could Spell Pierce here. But I don't think he wants to double Daze. Daze, however, pretty good against Price of Progress. Double Daze. Daze for Daze. Zech deep in the tank here. Oh, he has 2 Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce. Does Aiden pay? Aiden probably pays. Yep, Aiden pays. And we've got a Daze. Get in for 2. Swords to Plowshare on the top, but no white in Zech's hand whatsoever. No, I'm sorry, no white source. There's no Tundra or even a Scrubland, which I've seen some play, but not very many. And this all really started with the Goblin Guide. I think he saves himself 4 points of damage if he just doesn't get Goblin Guided, right? Gurmag Angler goes to the bin. Zech draws. It is a Ponder. So next turn he'll be able to do something. There's a Fatal Push. Okay, cool. So I would lead definitely with Ponder. Check the top. Get a free card off of it if possible, and then Fatal Push. So a lot of things could go wrong here, but a lot of things could also go right. Gurmag Angler, I think we want that in hand. But shields go down, and there is at least a Price of Progress in Aiden's hand, so Zech's clear out of... he's got 1 Daze, 1 Spell Pierce left in hand. He's going to go ahead and leave those there. And he's got a Fatal Push. So his mana is super taxed right now. He's got to make a couple decisions here, and any or all of them could lead to losing this game. So I think he's on the. I want to try to turn the corner against you right now. If I can untap here and be still alive, I think I'll be pretty good. Because at the very least, the Goblin Guide's not going to get in. But yep, he's going to pass the turn, so he's going to wait till he has 2 mana next turn. At the very least, try to draw a land. It looks like, oh my goodness. Lava Spike. Targeting you. Zech's like, sure. I guess that's my life. Alright, goes to 9. Why is the Goblin Guide in the bin? Oh, is that getting... Why is the Goblin Guide in the bin? I was like, what the? Alright, cool. Alright, let's go. So that also went to the dome there. We're gonna get a Fatal Push on the Goblin Guide without seeing the top card. I think that's okay. I don't love it, but it's fine. So Gurmag Angler, Aiden has 2 cards, both of which are very, very good. I think Zech is at 5. So both of those, they're not lethal by themselves, but they're pretty close. Gurmag Angler. All right, so shields are down currently, or pseudo down. Zech doesn't have a way to like really bring these back, except for that Gurmag Angler. He does have Liliana, but he's going to keep those, and he's going to exile the rest. Gurmag Angler comes down. All right, Aiden falls to 11. The next Gurmag swing is not enough still. Eidolon is the draw, so we're going to cast... Ooh. Alright, so... I like the Spell Pierce here. I think you have to. You can't go to 1. But you go to 1 next turn no matter what. But at least this way... oh my gosh! Brainstorm in response. Oh, he could have had it, right? That's... It's kind of crazy that the biggest thread... The biggest storyline in this game is just that Zech has not had white mana. All right, Days, pick this up. Pay. Oh, he dazes the second one, Fire Blast. Oh, and that's gonna be game. All right, sorry. So it looks like I did miss a point of damage there, and I think that's what was kind of like the trick there. Yeah, unfortunately, Aiden does not, or Aiden gets there, and kind of puts Zech in a really rough spot. I'm sorry. My apologies to those of you watching at home. I did have the life totals incorrect there. Zech was at 4, not 5, and so either of those burn spells were lethal, and he played it kind of correctly, I guess. Or maybe he paid for it and then had the Fire Blast. That could have been it. Anyways, either way, Aiden advances, and he's going to go to 4-2. Then maybe that's enough to make top 8. Maybe it's not. But we're going to cut to a short commercial break. I will set a timer for a couple minutes, and then I will be back to let you guys know if we'll be moving on to another match or if we'll be waiting for top 8. Thanks, guys.